I'm very excited that we're actually launching a new version of the Bayyinah TV app, alhamdulillah. And the team wanted to show you a video of what that's going to look like.
The number one complaint we've had from users is that the Bayyinah TV app was just way too overwhelming. But the good news is we've solved all of this for you by organizing the entire library of Bayyinah TV content for you.
The other thing I wanted to share with you is just a little bit about this project. The Quran Week is part of a larger project. And the larger project is what we've called for a long time the Deeper Look series. What I wanted to do was two things for the Quran before this short life that Allah has given. One thing I wanted to do is a translation of the Quran in video or audio format because the written translations of the Quran feel like a book, but I wanted the Quran to feel like a conversation. Remember the word hadith? Right? So it's a book also, it's kitab also, but it's also hadith. And it doesn't feel like a conversation when you're just reading it. Right? So I wanted to present it as a conversation with minimal explanation so you can get through the entire book in flow. So I did that several years ago. It's called the Concise Commentary. It's on Bayyinah TV from beginning to end, from Fatiha to Nas. It's already there. That took a couple of years to do. But then I realized that there are places in the Quran that, at first I realized there are places in the Quran I don't understand that well. So I need deeper studies. So I did that for myself. When I started doing that, I realized I don't understand any of the Quran that well. I thought I did. All of it requires a deeper study. So then over the years, this is a story of the last maybe 10, 12 years, maybe more actually. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ali Imran, Kahf, Qaf, a huge part of Surah Muhammad, but I'm going to do that over again. Surah Al-Fath. Just bits and pieces of different surahs. Surah Yusuf took up during COVID, Surah Yusuf, right? And every time I did it, it was like I'm getting a new education in the Quran for myself. Because every surah I engage in, I end up learning things. You would think, okay, you've done this many surahs, it's going to be the same thing. It's never the same thing. It's never, every time. If Surah Al-Mursalat this week was an education for you, it was an education for me. Up until the day we're presenting the surah, the team and I, we're learning new things about the surah. So it's embedded something in me. The Quran can never be underestimated. And the Quran deserves more attention than we were able to give it. And my problem is I have many opportunities in front of me. I have the opportunity to do youth programs. I have the opportunity to do Arabic programs. I have the opportunity to do men's programs. I have the opportunity to do Quran and psychology. I have the opportunity to do, Quran and children's education and different things. There's like 50 things in front of me that I can be doing. And I have the opportunity to study the Quran more deeply. That's there too. So now I've got all these different priorities and I have to figure out how to balance all of that. So I had to make a decision. And the decision I made was the attention to the Quran that has not been given, the deeper look that has not been given to the Quran, that is probably the most important contribution of all of those contributions. Because that's the one that I feel has not gotten the collaborative study attention. Meaning some person might do some work on it, but there's no team efforts doing it. Right? So alhamdulillah, over the years, we started putting a team together, advisors together. Actually, Jawad, mashallah, is here with us. A round of applause for Jawad. He's my right hand for Quran study and research, inshallah. Jawad, stand up. Don't sit there. Stand up. I'm going to be embarrassed. Come on. Do it. Do it. This is Jawad. Okay. Mashallah. So he heads our research team and he does a fantastic job. Make dua for him and his family. Alhamdulillah, I dragged him here along with his wife to be part of this program because he and I discuss and the team discuss every ayah and every subject in the ayah and put our notes together beforehand and discuss them. But what we discuss on the phone or together is different. And then when I present it, it comes out different. And he wanted to see what's the before and what's the after, right? Because by the end, by the time it comes out of me here, it's just completely, it's there. Some recipes are there, but then I add some salt and pepper and then it comes in something else. But anyway, long story short, I'm really excited about this project. I think it has a lot of benefit. And I think it has long-term benefit. Because I think in the age of AI, something that can happen is this surah, for example, the key takeaways can be extracted, turned into a transcript. Then that transcript can be turned into a voiceover. And that voiceover can be presented in every language in the world like that. Right? So now we have an accessible tafsir with commentary and insights into these ayat that we were able to do as a team, available in Turkish, available in German, available in French, available in any language, right? So that's our long-term goal, is not just to complete this work, but to make this world accessible to the entire world. Inshallah ta'ala. Because I think, and you may have noticed in the course of this surah, I said things based on our research, but our research is limited. But some of you might be listening to something I said about the wind, and you've been doing a PhD on the wind, and somebody might have heard something about geology or about the way that empires developed, and you say you're onto something, but your understanding is basically kindergarten understanding. Let me tell you what this really means, and you can unearth things that I could never unearth. But you know what it is? تِلْكَ الْحُصَاةِ مِنْ ذَاكَ الْجَبَلِ. I'm throwing some pebbles at you, and you can take that pebble and discover the mountain behind it that I cannot do. Right? So if this stuff is made accessible, it won't just be that my lectures are being made accessible, or a team effort is being made accessible. A culture of contemplating the Quran, a culture of mining benefit from the Quran, a culture of exploring more and more of the treasures of the Quran is created. I would rather the Muslims, when they're learning their religion, be more preoccupied with the Book of Allah than be preoccupied with which day to celebrate Eid, with more preoccupied with 8 or 20, with how low the pants should be above the ankle, or how long the beard should be, or nail polish, or, these things that are just become the obsession of the Muslims, or how halal is halal, right? These are our obsessions. I'm not saying these are not important questions, but these questions have become dominant in our conversations. But the thing that should dominate everything is the highest thing, and the highest thing is the word of Allah, right? And if we did that, if we did become that these subjects are there, but they have a lower place, and the real thing that collectively we share with each other is contemplating the word of Allah, I think we will experience an intellectual renaissance. We will experience a social renaissance. Some of the oppressions in our society will disappear. Some of our narrow-minded thinking will disappear. The way we engage with non-Muslims will change. Everything's going to experience an evolution only because we put the Quran at the front. But when we put the Quran in the front, we need to do that in a way that is thoughtful. Because right now I feel that when we read the translation of the Quran, or we study any one tafsir of the Quran, or any conversation about the Quran, many times we're just reducing the Quran to one comment, or reducing the Quran to a limited set of ideas. We're not really mining what's being said to the maximum. And I'm not saying that we have mined everything that can be mined out of Surah Al-Mursalat. We did what we could, but there's endless treasure. Probably next year, if we were to come back to Surah Al-Mursalat, we'll find 50 other things we didn't find this year. I worked on Surah Yusuf for 2 years with Sheikh Suhaib. Then I went to Scotland, and we decided to translate Surah Yusuf. When we translated Surah Yusuf, we discovered almost in every ayah things we didn't discover in the 2 years. We're like, okay, this Quran, ajaib la tanqadi. These are miracles that don't come to an end. This is a fountain that keeps giving and keeps giving and keeps giving. It doesn't come to an end. But at least we got something started, right? So my goal is, inshallah, to complete the entire commentary on the Quran in this way. That's the goal. Right now we're done with about a little over 1/3. 2/3 remains. And if we keep going at this pace, 12 years, inshallah. Inshallah ta'ala. So it's a long-term commitment. In that time, I do want to do other things too. Some of the other things that I mentioned, especially when it comes to children's education, translation work, some other things. But I will make sure that this remains the top priority. If at the least this will get 70% of my focus in a given year. This is why me traveling to different conventions or speeches and programs and this and that, that's lesser importance. This is more important. And this is more work. And the last thing I'll tell you is when I started this, I didn't think that people would be interested. Because this is heavy. It's a 1.5-page surah. We're sitting here for a whole week, 3 hours a day. Like, it's a lot of stuff. Right? People are going to get bored. Give them something like fun and entertaining. Make a joke, right? And that'll be easier, you know. But I said, okay, let's just try. And the thing is, in the age of social media and short form content, and you can watch a 30-second clip, you can watch a 1-minute clip, and you can get your little Islamic high, you know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that felt good. Swipe. You know, the feel-good Islam, the adrenaline Islam, the laugh Islam, the motivational Islam. You know, that's the kind of Islam people are becoming addicted to, like any other sort of thing, right? Meme Islam. But this isn't meme. This is seriously sitting there for a few hours every day, and you people have work and family and drama in your family, and you have all that stuff, and you coming here, and you have to park in Lyon, You know what this is a testimony to? This is a testimony to the fact that you have a serious love of the Quran. You have a very serious love of the Quran. And that love, Allah does not ever leave it without rewarding it. And the reward of it comes out in your life, it comes out in the community, it comes out in your career, it comes out in your family. This blessing, it grows and grows and grows. And that's what excites me, that everywhere I go, I'm hoping I spark a new interest. Like you have a new renewed commitment. Okay, this was one surah. There's a lot of other surahs to go. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more. Which is why I'm inviting you. I need your help with this. I was going to give you a whole PowerPoint presentation. I'm not going to. I'll show you a short video at the end, but I just want to talk to you instead of a presentation. What I want for you to do is I want you to become ambassadors. I'm just openly telling you my plan. The 12-year plan I told you, right? There's another plan. All of these recordings that you saw Uthman doing, all the surahs that we're recording, we keep adding them to Bayyinah TV. And Bayyinah TV costs $11 a month. It cost $11 a month when I started it in 2011. It costs $11 now. And my goal, inflation and all these things, you could say you could just increase the price or whatever. I didn't care. Our costs have increased, but I didn't increase the subscription, $11. And still, we try our best. Anybody who says I can't afford it, we try to give them a free subscription, even though there's 50,000 applications for people that can't afford the $11 a month. My objective is to get basically any English speaker who can afford this subscription should get one, so that they have access to the work. Why not? Some people say, brother, why don't you put on YouTube? For the sake of Allah. Yes. Why don't I generate revenue for Google for the sake of Allah? Why should we generate revenue for these platforms because you think it's free, but actually your attention is not free? They are making a lot of money out of every second of your viewership, and you think it's free. I don't buy into that delusion. I will use YouTube. I will use Facebook. I will use the kafir platforms to actually push people to the Muslim platform, because I want this to become bigger than Netflix. That's what I want, inshallah. And the reason I want this to become bigger than Netflix is because I want to be able to say to the entire population of Indonesia, I want to be able to give you this subscription at an Indonesian price, because $11 might be far too much for them. I want to be able to tell all of Bangladesh, I can give you this for a Bangladeshi price, and then keep reducing the cost for any country that's struggling. So that more, and then to be able to translate this into the language of all the villages in the world, all the other major languages, and to be able to give them access to that. Can you imagine a time when we can afford, like as Bayyinah, I envision if this grows enough, then I want to be able to invest in, devices, even offline devices, that the entire commentary on the Quran in audio form is available in, let's say, Swahili or Punjabi, or, it's in Bahasa, or it's in, one of the local village languages in Nigeria, or whatever, some local language. And we can pass this out to all the mothers in the village. And they don't need internet access. And while they're cooking their food, they're listening to Baqarah, then Ali Imran, then Nisa. What kind of kids are they going to raise? What kind of kids are they going to raise? You see what I'm saying? We have an opportunity to bring a Quran revolution to the world. But to do that, we need to develop a strong subscriber base. So my request to you is, not only do I want you to sign up, I want you to give this as an Eid gift. Give this as a gift to your friends. Give this as a gift to your enemies. You say, you really need this. Like, there's a lecture on shaitan I really want you to listen to. You remind me of give this to your mother-in-law and highlight this passage on Fir'aun and just go to her. Like, yeah, I was just saying. I have a fantastic mother-in-law. I'm not talking about her. Okay, she's great. But that's what I need. What I need is I'm going to do my part, and there are multiple parts to this thing. I'm going to go through all of this quickly, but if you can even have your voice note recorder on just to listen to this advice, because you'll forget it. I'm going to go through this super, super quick. Not going to show you anything. What is, how many people here struggle with reading the Arabic Quran? Like just the Arabic, sounding it out properly, and you have a hard time pronouncing it, or you stumble, or you don't know any of it at all. It's okay if you're embarrassed to raise your hand. If that's the case with you, then on Bayyinah TV, under the Arabic section, there's something called the 10-day challenge. The 10-day challenge is, let me help you read the Arabic. Just read, just the sounds. Let me help you get that flow. I did that for a couple of new Muslims and a couple of Muslims that had no background in Arabic, and I got them to read in 10 days. So the pre-recordings, and maybe 50, 60,000 people have done that already. For those of you that want to learn Arabic, I don't want you to learn Arabic first, even though there's Hadi Jali Arabiya, but you guys don't know Nahu and Sarf well. And I know a lot of Arab students I have here too for the Dream program. I don't want you to do that first. I want you to go through the entire Quran first. Remember I told you I did a brief commentary on the entire Quran? Go through that first. And that's the concise commentary. 20 minutes a day, on your way to work, on your way back. Just casual listening. You're not taking any notes or anything. Just listening. Just get through. You can say to yourself, I've heard what the entire Quran has to say at a basic level. If you can do that within a couple of years, you know more about the Quran than most Muslims on the planet. That's pretty sad, but it's true. Right? So I want you to have that advantage. And that's particularly helpful for listening in the car, if you have kids that understand it. My hope is, inshallah, with enough of a volunteer team, we're going to be able to translate these things in French and German and other European languages, so you can share that with your children and others as well, inshallah. Okay. So that's the bit of advice I wanted to give you. The other thing is, we need a lot of help. So I'm very bad at organizing. Really bad at organizing. Okay. So I have people that help me organize. And one of the things that I've always seen people, wherever I go, they come to me and say, I want to be part of this mission. I want to help in some way. And then I ask, what do you do? Well, I'm a neuroscientist, or I'm a historian, or I'm a linguist, or I'm a this, or which are amazing things. But I can't keep up. And I lose beautiful treasures of people that want to help, and I don't know how to mine them or bring them together, right? So alhamdulillah, now in our team, we're trying to organize people that want to volunteer for us or help in any capacity, and put like-minded people in different departments and groups so that we can assign them projects. The most important project right now is actually to take the commentary I've already done on these surahs, to turn that into summaries that get the main points of every ayah that I talked about, turn that into a transcript, and then get that transcript, hopefully in my voice, in all these other languages using AI or something. Let's just see how that turns out, inshallah. I want to start with a couple of languages and eventually make that a phenomenon across, first starting with the 7 main languages of the world, and then beyond that. So if you're interested in helping in any way, shape, or form, you want to help with research and Quran study, you have background in Quran studies, you have a hadith background, you have a fiqh background, you have a comparative religion background, you have a sociology background, you have a law background, you're a family lawyer, you're a psychiatrist, you're a doctor, you're a cardiologist, whatever you are, you know something. And when we get to an ayah about something to do with the heart, I'd like to talk to a cardiologist. That would be nice. When I get to an ayah about, criminal law, I'd love to talk to a lawyer. When I get to the ayah about financial dealings, I'd like to talk to a business attorney or people in business because they have perspective I don't have, right? The mufassirun may not have that perspective, but somebody in that world may have that perspective. I don't even care if you're a fisherman because the Quran mentions fish, so I'd like to talk to you when the time comes. So if you have some background in something or you have expertise in some area, then I want to know about it. I want to know what it is that you do. And if you'd like to be a part of that larger growing family, so bayyinah.com/volunteer is where you can sign up. That's probably the easiest way. And that way we get more precise information. And it might be that you might find people that offer to volunteer from Lyon that are very similar skill sets and they don't even know each other. So now we become a means by which you guys can connect with each other, right? So that's the kind of idea there. I'm very excited that we're actually launching a new version of the Bayyinah TV app. Alhamdulillah. It's launching on Monday. And the team wanted to show you a video of what that's going to look like.
Imagine you're in the middle of a busy week. You're trying to balance work, family, and studies. You've managed to start an episode in the Deeper Look series within Bayyinah TV, but you weren't able to finish it. In the evening though, you go back into the app and you open up and you'll see exactly where you left off and you can continue without any disruptions. So for me, I've been studying Surah Al-Kahf. The second I open the app, it's right there waiting for me at the exact place where I left off. So you never have to worry about losing your place again. Now imagine you're driving, or you're commuting, you're on a train, you're traveling, you're listening to an audio version on BTV for a particular lecture. You get home, you start having some food, you sit down on the couch, you want to watch the video version now. It's literally as easy as pressing a button on top of the media player. You can easily switch between audio and video without losing your place at all.
Bayyinah TV now recommends content based on your watch history. For example, if you've been exploring the Learn to Read Quran, you might receive a recommendation for the Learn to Read Quran Part 2 series. This personalized approach saves time and keeps your learning engaging and relevant.
The number one complaint we've had from users is that the Bayyinah TV app was just way too overwhelming. Courses all over the place, videos all over the place. I know how it feels. When I was trying to study the Quran in Bayyinah TV, I was just frustrated. But the good news is, we've solved all of this for you by organizing the entire library of Bayyinah TV content for you. So now, all the content has been split into 4 categories. We have courses, surah, Arabic, and story nights. If we look into the courses section, we can see additional subcategories like Quranic topics, Quranic angles, history, and what's popular within the library. You can also see within the surah section, we've broken down concise commentary and deeper look for you. So you can literally just scroll, look at any surah, click into it, and go into any video or any ayah you want. We've also discovered that story nights were very popular among our users, so we've categorized it separately and you can explore the full series right here. For Arabic, you'll be able to get started if you're new to Arabic, you'll be able to go through the foundations of Arabic and access our full dream program through Bayyinah Arabic.
Think of it like your personal learning dashboard. You've set a goal to study Quranic Arabic for 30 minutes every day. Now you can hold yourself accountable. The new My Learning section shows you stats on total watch hours, completed series, and the ones you're currently studying. This detailed tracking helps you stay motivated and see tangible progress. For example, if you're halfway through a course, you'll know exactly how much you've completed and how many lessons you've revised, making it easier for you to stay on track. Let's say you're revisiting a Quran study series that you've already completed. You'll be able to see how many times you've revised it, when you last watched it, and how much you've progressed. This feature helps you focus not only on learning new content, but also on revisiting and deepening your understanding of what you've already studied. It's perfect for continuous learners who want to keep their knowledge fresh and relevant.
I created something where I saw a gap. I'm passionate about the Quran, and I saw a gap in people aren't given access to think about the Quran deeply. And they're not given access to meaningful, how is this relevant to me, kind of discourse on the Quran. It's not accessible. right? So I tried to fill that gap. You live here and you have your own experiences. You know what the gaps are. You know what gaps lie in this society. And I need you to start thinking entrepreneurially about the gaps that are in your society and build something powerful that does two things. One, it provides a meaningful service. Two, it generates revenue. The second one's important. I don't want your institutions to receive donations. I want your institutions to have a vision. They get so big, they're the ones that are giving the donations. You understand? The Catholic Church is receiving less donations. It is actually giving, there's trillions and trillions of dollars in funds and investments, and they've got this machinery. And we're thinking, oh, well, you know, these governments that have oil, or these governments, they don't do any. No. Nobody's helping you. You're on your own. Build it. Build the empire. Build revenue. And with revenue, build more and more quality services for your community. If you keep thinking we're going to do something that we're going to ask for donations and keep do something and ask for donations, if you still have that mindset, you're never going to innovate. You're not going to excel. Because nonprofits are not designed to be innovative and creative, right? But entrepreneurial ventures are always innovating, always creating, always upgrading their quality, because if you don't upgrade your quality, you're going to lose your customer, right? So you need to give more value than what you're asking for. I believe at Bayyinah, with our $11 a month subscription, we're giving hundreds of times more value than what we're asking for. And I believe that wholeheartedly, which is why when somebody said, brother, why you charge the money for the Bayyinah TV? I say, because I should. Because I should. There's a reason. Because Muslim organizations should be powerful. And I believe my organization should be powerful. And I also believe your organization should be powerful. We need a network of powerful institutions. This is not a competition. This is a synergy. This is a cooperation that needs to develop. So I want the young people here to have that mindset, inshallah. And like I said in my earlier comments, the way I want you to build this enterprise here, one direction is, what will you build that will serve the Muslims? But another is, what will you build that will be at the service of all of France, all of Europe? Think big. Why limit yourself to one population? Why do that? Inshallah. So this is my pitch to you. I wanted to just briefly present all of this.
The new and improved Bayyinah TV app is available for download. Simply head to the Google Play Store or the App Store and get started today.